Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to start in a couple of minutes. Welcome. Okay, I think we're good to go. Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today for our Getting Started with Microbit training, the first that the IMechE has hosted. I am Jelena Gacisha, and I'm the Education Outreach and Safeguarding Lead at the institution, and my role is to support our education program. Some of you may be aware that we supported the Gladiators, the BBC Gladiators microbit competition earlier this year. It's one of those names that I always mix up the order. It was an amazing opportunity for IMechE members to get involved in judging a competition that went out to primary schools across the country, which involved kids using microbits and coming up with ideas how to improve the performance of gladiators. We had over 250 IMechE members involved in the competition and the judging, and this is now a continuation of our partnership with the Microbit Educational Foundation. And the aim of the partnership is basically to help us in our shared goal of improving digital literacy among children and driving problem-solving skills, which obviously is something that you can apply across professions, but is obviously closely linked to engineering. This training is specifically targeting our STEM ambassador cohort, but is of course open to all members, particularly those that get involved in education outreach and go out to schools, with the aim that this is an additional resource, an additional bit of knowledge that you can use and keep in your toolkit and go out and utilize with teachers and with students. You may or may not be aware that in 2023, the Microbit Educational Foundation, in conjunction with Nominet, sent out microbit kits to every primary school in the UK. So schools will have this kit. Sometimes it's in a cupboard somewhere and hasn't been used, but all primary schools across the UK, or at least up to about 90% of them, would have opted in to receive the kits. And this is something that they will be able to use. And when you go in to do an outreach session, to do a STEM workshop, it's definitely something that they will have available for free, a resource that you can tap into. Now, I'd like to pass over to Chris, who will be leading this training for you. I'll come back afterwards for the Q&A session. It's going to be an interactive session with the aim of really getting you up to speed on how you might be able to use the microbit. Please do engage with Chris. Please do ask your questions. This is the opportunity for you to do so we can get real good value out of this session. Thank you, everyone. Chris.
Well, thank you so much, Jelena. Yeah, so my name is Chris. Let's just stop sharing my screen. Hopefully you'll be able to see me. So yes, my name is Chris Lovell. I'm a microbit champion. I'm a teacher. Firstly, I'm really excited to be speaking to all of you today and have the opportunity. I was a STEM ambassador a few years ago. I worked in industry for 20 years in software and electronics. That's my degree. Well, many years ago is in that. And I was always interested in going into schools and just giving children the opportunity to see what's out there. Not only careers, but opportunities to problem solve as well. Sharing somewhat of a personal story, I grew up in a single parent family, and my mum obviously is an absolutely wonderful lady. But I remember there was a family friend that really took me under his wing with regards to electronics, not so much coding, but he really it got me really excited about pursuing as a career. And I really feel that initial experience that I had, that's why I'm a microbit champion. I don't know, the IMechE believe in this too, that every child deserves to have an opportunity to learn, not just for digital literacy, but there will be some kids out there that will really want to take their learning opportunities forward, but perhaps they don't have the opportunity, and you can just be that spark. And that's what I aim to be, and I guess that's why I'm here. So yes, I worked in industry for 20 years. I've been teaching now for it's my 8th year of teaching. So I teach children from the ages of all the way down to 5 up to A-level students, which is that's kind of what it's like in computer science and shortage subjects that maybe some of you know. There is a shortage of maths and physics and computing teachers and other subjects. So yeah, we do have an opportunity to do a wide variety of things, which is really interesting and exciting. So I've the Microbit Foundation. This is a voluntary role. My full-time job is a teacher, but I have had an opportunity to go into local primary schools with the Microbit, talking to children. Most teachers are the real main focus, which I'll come to in a moment. But through those teachers, building that teacher confidence to use the Microbit to teach computational thinking skills, problem solving, um, but also engaging children with technology and perhaps seeing it as a career that they'll be interested in. As we all know, there is a huge shortage out there presently. So yes, let's. So what can I say? So again, as a STEM ambassador, and I've seen this myself, that I go into a school and often the microbit it was around a year ago, 18 months ago. These new version 2s, which I've got here, were released. There you go. There you go. Oh, that were not really. Yeah, there you go. It's been around 10, 11 years. There was a version 1. So I've been into primary schools where the version 1s are just sitting on a shelf, even for several years. So the tech often, although we do hear from schools, and you will hear in the press, it's about the technology. There's no money available. There's no, the kids don't have access to the tech. In my experience, that's only part of the challenge. The biggest challenge, or the bigger challenge, is teacher knowledge, confidence. When I go in with the microbit and show how these tools have been designed, these coding tools have been designed with simplicity, accessibility in mind, and of course they're free. Uh, Once teachers have had an opportunity to run with me, running a workshop alongside them, the children essentially bully the teachers into carrying on because they absolutely love the coding, technology, the creativity that this tool enables. So it's I would so don't underestimate the value and that you can bring as a STEM ambassador. In my opinion, I would put it higher than the technology, because we can teach these computational skills or um, digital skills unplugged, and I do that too. I Some schools I've been into don't have computers working at all, but we still manage to have a session with computer programming, which is, yes, we still find a way. But the most important thing is giving confidence to the teacher in the classroom. Those are the people we really need to give that confidence. So that's what I see my role as, and I'm sure all of you are doing this in your free time or whilst you might be working. So I'm sure you agree with me. So I wonder, first of all, we had the first poll. If we have the first poll, Dominic, just where everybody, if you could just answer, what's your confidence with coding? Um, as I said, I teach children as young as, we start with a microbit year three. So what's that? That's a 7-year-old, 6, 7-year-old. So I go all the way through. So I'm not concerned at all, ready to pitch and do more. Oh, I'm not able to vote. Okay, I'll give it a couple of seconds. I guess, Dominic, do we have, say, 30 more seconds to vote? And then I'll carry on. And do I see the results on the screen as well? Okay, great. Never coded before. Advanced. Okay, so we've got one person here, advanced. Fantastic. Might ask for help from perhaps some of the intermediate advanced people, but also so you will also get something from this. Those of you that are very experienced will get more from this. So remember, one of the skills as a teacher, or perhaps may not be aware, it's something I've learned as a teacher. A teacher will teach to the whole class, not just a group. There will be some children that find things more challenging. There will be some children that are absolutely flying, and that will vary from topic to topic. But it's our job as teachers, as code club leaders, as STEM ambassadors to recognize that. Do we always get it right? Do I always manage to challenge or really support those that I should? I guess no, but the important thing is that I reflect on that and I look to improve on that next time. So um, yeah, just see it as a learning opportunity. Right, so let's just go back here. So yes, the microbit itself, I will show on the screen. You can just about see that. Yeah, there you go. So on the front we have a 5x5 LEDs, which are lights. They are red, and they can only be red color, but we can change their brightness, perhaps use some creativity with that as a sensor. We also have on the back and handily, oops, I've dropped it, handily, it's labeled, which is great. Remember, this is an education tool. This was originally designed by the BBC education team before it was maybe spun off is the wrong word, but before it branched off into its own organization as a microbit foundation. You're not going to be able to read that, but there's little descriptions here. There's a microphone on the front. There's a speaker. Um, we have a variety of sensors. So we have an accelerometer, which those of you that are familiar with computer gaming, with when you tilt a Nintendo controller on Mario Kart, we can have a similar effects with this. My real interest with the microbit is to link it to gaming because I know how much kids love making games and so many of them play games, even if they're not, even if they don't play computer games. All children play games outside or Cluedo or something. They all know games. So yes, I always link it to games. On the front as well, we have some buttons, which you may have seen there. We also have this logo, which is also can be a sensor. So touch something and make something happen. We also, what else? There's a light sensor on here too. There is okay, so microbit foundation. Anything else I've missed on there? Let's see. Uh, so yes, of course, explore yourself, but there is a variety of sensors, and I know all of you are engineers on here. Although I'm a teacher, I consider myself an engineer still, and I always will be. I love solving problems, but see, you can probably think, and I hope you are, that this tool is a excellent tool for creative expression. In my opinion, it's the best tool for creative expression in this area because so it's called physical computing. We load the program onto this, attach a battery to it, and children can have perhaps a step counter. They can well a variety of projects which I'll explain in a why don't I do that? Why don't I do that now before we get into the coding? So I'll share my screen. Bear with me. Here we go. Share my screen. Here we go. Share. Right. It's on. Right. There we go. So if I go to the Microbit website, there you go. So I go to microbit.org. And also everybody, and I have not said this, I have not said it. Behind me, you will see a QR code. If you scan that QR code, it will take you to, let's stop sharing so you can see the QR code. This QR code, if you scan it, it will take you to the IMechE website where there's a list of resources that the IMechE and the Microbit Foundation, so a number of links that will be the resources that I'm sharing with you and showing you today. If you click that, it will take you directly there. It also has some lovely information about the IMechE and the Microbit Foundation's work that we're doing together. So let's share this again. I'm aware there are questions coming in. I will come back to those in a moment. Or I'll just show you these. So here we go. Microbit.org. All resources on here are free. Getting started is a great place to get started. Although it says teacher resources, this is also you as well. Anyone that's going to be working with children, you can click in there, take your first steps. There's lovely get started, lots of pictures of happy children and adults working with children. So those of you that are perhaps a little more advanced, the coding I'm going to show you today is with something called Microsoft MakeCode, which is a fantastic tool. It's based on something called Google Blockly. Actually, Blockly is now part of the Raspberry Pi Foundation. That was announced the other day. But it's again, it's an open source project. Microsoft have built their tools. You may be familiar with coding in Minecraft. That is also MakeCode on the MakeCode Foundation. There's also there's something called Arcade MakeCode. There are a number of MakeCode based tools, of which the Microbit is one. And this is why I feel the Microbit is so strong, because it's a lovely gateway to more advanced and more challenging coding, but it all builds on MakeCode. So yes, there's Python, and then there's this classroom tool, which I'm going to show you in a moment. So yes, Python on the Microbit, yes, it is Python, something called MicroPython. Perhaps you could probably see that it's not a full featured computer, but yes, it is a version of Python on there. And then we have Let's Code. But before we do some coding, which I know you're itching to do, I want to show you, let's look at some of the projects. So if we click projects, all of these, and we'll do some animations to start with. So all of you will have an opportunity, if you wish, to code along with me, and we will be doing these three. So let's just look at the first one, and they've got beginners, step count, magic 8 ball, and then we go through to being more advanced. This is a very long list, which I'm flying through. So thermometers, what else? Teleporting duck is always a fun one we can do. But there is a huge variety of these all the way through sports data logging, energy light time as well. There's a great deal. So advanced. So just to give you a sense, if you're with a primary school that's never used the Microbit before, start with the top of the page. If they're feeling a little more confident, how I do it is I meet with the teacher beforehand. I just pop by, have a cup of tea, talk with the teacher. Oh, how do you know the Microbit? What have you done? Or what's the kids' experience with coding? If they have some experience, work your way further down and show this to the teacher. Perhaps make a dice, make a name badge. If they're the more experienced they are, just take the hint from the teacher. Really, much of that will be derived from the kids' confidence, will be from the teacher confidence. But believe me, once the kids see the Microbit, they will absolutely force the teacher to, they'll force you to come back. Sorry, encourage you very nicely. Kids are lovely, aren't they? They'll be so excited, and you'll see their faces, and they'll want you back. So here we go. Here we've also got a yes, so yes, the Microbit does have a huge, and some of you may be really excited about that, robotics. You can buy robotics kits. Some schools may have those. My view on all of those things are put those things to one side. As a teacher in a class, I have, let's say, between 20 and 30 kids, and I'm generally on my own. And it's not so bad if I go into primary school, but I think the more kit you introduce, the more challenges you introduce to a lesson, to an activity. If I'm getting started, I will only use the microbit on its own because you've got to the kids have got to plug it in. There'll no doubt there'll be tech issues, all those things that we love as engineers. There'll be lots of problems. Mr. Lovell, my screen's not working. Mr. Lovell, my microbit's not on. Mr. Lovell, my keyboard. Mr. Lovell, there'll be so many things. And we do encourage children to be resilient, and some will be more confident than others. But even as an experienced teacher, I spend a lot of time firefighting, particularly at the beginning. So the more kit I introduce in to an activity, the more firefighting I'm going to do. So I limit. I may even, to start with, just start with the coding interface. I may not even on my first workshop, depending on the confidence that I see and I get the feeling I get, I may not even introduce the physical microbit. I may just have them coding on the screen. Well, yes, here we go. Look, there's all these other projects from Raspberry Pi, another fantastic organization, Code Club. All of these wonderful organizations have shared resources with the Microbit Foundation. Right, so let's get coding. So over on the left-hand side, I have this coding tool, which is here. Now, Dominique is going to thank you, Dominic, for pasting a link where you'll be able to join me in my classroom. And I'll give you a couple of moments before we actually, Dominic, I'm getting ahead of myself. Dominic, please could we have the second poll, which is about it's about the projects and the which projects are we excited, and then I'll do the coding. Thanks, everyone. And this will help me too, because depending on what you're most excited to explore, we'll explore those. Has everybody had a chance, Dominique, to answer? Should we look at the results? Sensors, love it. Engineers, exactly, exactly. That's what we want to do. Yeah, buttons and inputs, that's fine, but sensors is what yeah, okay. Let's look at some of the sensors then. Now so here you go. So we've got Cameron, Luke. There's been a link that's been sent round, or I guess it's in the chat, Dominique, which you click that, just type your name in, and then your name will appear on the left-hand side. And what we're doing here is this is a microbit classroom tool. There are different options. To access microbit, you can go to makecodemicrobit.org, and the kids will have this standalone interface, which is great. You can see, but you've got all of the same functionality in this classroom tool. And as a teacher, I find this really useful. Managing a classroom is really useful in an IT environment because it's a very distracting environment. Perhaps as you're finding yourself now, maybe some of you are browsing the BBC News or something whilst instead of listening to me. Now, of course, in a classroom, it can be just like that. So I've got these lovely tools, which if I click this button, I've got lock student screens. Here we go. So that those of you that have joined in will see your screens locked. Now, please don't worry. I haven't hacked into your computer. I don't have control of your computer. This isn't some hacking exercise. This just means I say to the children, everyone, eyes on me, and then I lock their screens, and then they don't have any excuse to continue fiddling I think I would have been one of those children. I would wanted to have fiddled rather than listen to my teacher. But anyway, we need to encourage the children. So here you go. I have also got, and I'm sharing this because yes, you are like students in my classroom, but you can also have access to this free tool. As I said, did I say it's free? There's this invite button. If I click that, I can put show student joining details. You've all got a link that I've shared with you, but if children go to microbit.org/join, you put this on the whiteboard or get the teacher to, and then you put the classroom name up and then the password, and then they can all come in. So it's a lovely tool. It enables me, as I said, going back to the beginning as a teacher, that I've learned I need to support all children in my classroom. So I can push out, not mentioning any name, I'll mention some names. I'll just pick off some names. So we've got Dennis here. So if I know that Dennis is a rock star with coding, and so is Rosa, perhaps I won't push any code to them at all. I will allow them to follow the worksheet and explore. But I might see that maybe, I don't know, Luke and Steph need a bit more support. So I will push code. I will put what we call scaffolding in teaching. So I'll push out more code to them that they can adapt and manipulate. So anyway, this is a fantastic call for instruction. So here you go. This now going into the coding tools themselves. When you start with the microbit, it's lovely. You have this. This is the coding environment. And I don't want this to be daunting for anyone. I saw your experience, guys. So like I say, I'm going to start right at the beginning. These are loops. So what will happen is I have my microbit simulator on the left-hand side. It will press play. It will press play and go. That nothing's running on there because I haven't got any code. I have a forever loop. So this, whatever I put into this forever loop will run forever. Well, until the batteries run out. But until you turn it off, but it will run forever. And then on start, will just run once. And that's one of my checks with the children. Just so they really understand that if I put hello, show string hello in here, and I just click this button, it now goes full screen. It says hello. How many times will it say it if I put it into on start? It will stay at once, Mr. Lovell. But if I put it over into forever, what will happen, Mr. Lovell, is it will say hello over and over again. And I will just let that run so you can see that is, and as an engineer, this suits me. I like seeing stuff. And, that's kind of the difference, isn't it? With engineers and scientists and mathematicians, we're all lovely people, but I think engineers, we just want to see things, whether we're mechanical engineers, electronics or computing engineers. I want to see this thing in action. Don't just tell me it. I want to do it. So, and that's why this is so fantastic with microbit. We can do it. So I have this, as I said, with the and I'm going to send this to everybody now. I'm going to put my favorite one. Here we go. So I'm going to have a smiley face. If I do again, let's just do this in on start. I'm aware of time, but then I put another one underneath, which will be a smiley face, but with both eyes. And you're probably already, I'm sure you're thinking, what's it going to show on the left-hand side? So in my instruction, I will say to the children, get them to predict what will the microbit show. And of course, we've got on start, it's going to show once, so it's going to have one wink. There you go. Maybe I will do it that way. It looked like it's got one eye. Let's do it that way. So it starts, and then now we've got, let's just run that again. I click this refresh button. It just runs it once. And I would say to the children, now what happens if I move it to the forever? Oh, Mr. Lovely, it's going to continuously wink at me. There you go. So there are some other, once we get more advanced with the microbit, there are some more things we can do. Yes, I can take a screenshot, but I've got this debug button. So if I have those of you that are familiar with variables, we can track the status of variables as a program runs with this debug mode. But yes, there is a great deal of functionality. Right. So I am going to now push my code out to everybody. Sorry, the my little box is there. So I click send code. I'm just going to send it to everybody. And here we go, send code. So I'll give you some, you can play around everyone for some time. For let's have a couple of minutes of playing around and then I'll come on to the other blocks. So you have an opportunity now for a few minutes. I realize I only have another 10 minutes. So I'm going to just to use those basic blocks, the blue ones, and just drag them in and just get some experience with it. So when it gets to 12:33 on my clock, it's 12:31. I'll carry on. I can see there's been a few questions. Let's look. Right. So questions. Questions from Stanka. I hope I've said a name correctly. Do classrooms have one microbit or multiple? So the fantastic question. The microbit, the class, schools were sent 30 microbits. That typically that would mean one microbit per class. And the way the Microbit Foundation with Nominet did this was the school had to ask for them. They were given freely, but the school would have to ask for them. I think there was perhaps that would give an indication that the school has some knowledge or some interest in it, rather than sending a microbit and it's going to sit on a shelf for years. Just it was sent to those schools that asked for them, and Jelena gave the example. It said around 90% of primary schools. So if they have asked for them, someone at some time in that school has shown that they've taken an interest in the microbit. So yeah, there you go. Oh, new messages. If you have any questions, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, thank you. Right. If you have any questions, okay, thanks. Right, so it says on my thing now, okay, was it 12:32? So I've got a few more minutes. Now I can also look to see what anyone's been doing. I'm going to be a bit. Let's look at Channa. Okay, Channa's been doing some more winking. Look, I can see it. Dennis. Yeah, Dennis has been experimenting with the different blocks. Yep. So guys, I can see you're all it. Well, everybody I'm checking has been experimenting, but this also shows that. Well, I mean, in a classroom, you're going to walk around. You're not going to sit at your laptop or your computer just helping children from there, but you can. There's also a save button, so I can click save as a teacher and then save the work that the children have done. Right, it's 12:33. I'm still talking, aren't I? Now, the other thing, you said you want to see sensors. So let's show you sensors. If I just move the webinar chat over there. Oh no, I'm looking at Trevor's one. Sorry, I need to go back to my one. My one. View my own code. Right, so you can probably still hear me waffling on in the background. I tried to make it useful waffle. So if everybody looks at me, I won't lock your screens. I won't lock your screens. We're all adults on here, aren't we? But we have input. So this is where we'll find the sensors. You can see we've got on button A pressed. An input button is still a sensor. We're sensing it's an input. We have this acceleration. And we've all, oh, I didn't mention there's a compass as well. There's a temperature sensor. Is there have we on shake? So I'm going to, let's use on shake. That's the accelerometer. So if the microbit is shaken, what shall we show? If I do basic, I'm going to show a logo. I'm going to show a happy face. It likes being shaken. So I can go into here and then pick a happy face. So I have on shake. Just get rid of that, just to keep this simple. If I shake the microbit, I'm going to do that on this simulator by pressing the shake button, but I would shake the microbit and it's going to show a happy face. There you go. Pardon me. I can also tilt the microbit left. Oh, and I can show the face. So I can have these different um, well, different gestures of the microbit, and um, it can show on the screen. I also have compass setting. Oh, here we go. On logo pressed, what will I do? On logo pressed, let's show the checkerboard. So I press the logo, it shows the checkerboard. Um, so these are very simple, but what we would do with the kids is I would have them run an animation. What do the kids like do? They might have a rocket taking off. Let's just do oh dear, can I do a rocket taking off? Something like this. And then I can duplicate that, and then maybe I just do that, something like this. And then do another one. Okay, very simple, isn't it? Very simple. And then I have a, oh, I don't know, am I doing this right? I think so. Doing it too quickly. But anyway, so I press the logo now, and it looks like a rocket's taking off. So I have the children create an animation of some description. You've also got loops in here, so repeat 4 times. What's going to happen, students, if I put, how many times what will I see this rocket? Oh, Mr. Love, it's obvious, isn't it? It says repeat 4 times. So it's going to show the rocket taking off 4 times. So you can have these lovely, yeah, what age do you think kids can start? Kids can start in year 3. I've done this with kids as young as year 3. So I realise that's the English system. Not so familiar with Wales, Northern Ireland, Scotland, but the age group, so 6, 7-year-olds uh, start with this, and these tasks as well, simple animations. They absolutely love this, and then they can load it onto their microbit. I haven't shown you that. How long do I have left? Not long. To load onto your microbit, you've got click for one, click downloads. I click this. You have connect device. You've plugged the microbit into your computer, and it is just as simple as following the on-screen instructions. Connect your microbit to the computer. Click next. Pair your microbit to your browser. Press the pair button. A window will appear on the top left of your browser. Select the microbit device and click connect. You know, I haven't connected a microbit, so it doesn't say that. But anyway, it's they've spent a great deal of effort, the Microbit Foundation, making this as simple as it can be, and as accessible. That's a better word. As accessible as it can be, even with visually impaired. Up here on the top right, I can change language as well. So if you have children from as we will with different English as a second language, they might feel more confident in another language. There is a huge variety of languages. Here we go, from Catalan to Vietnamese, Chinese, Ukrainian. Yes, anyway, you can read what's up there, but they have worked with partners around the world to make this as accessible as possible. There's also green screen or children with visual impairments or special needs, supports that. They've worked very hard. Now, to give you some other, I've only got another minute, so I'm going to show you very briefly some things that I've done. I've made a kind of a Space Invaders clone. That's a bit of a, yeah, that's a bit strong. But you can probably see I've got this alien thing that's dropping. I can shoot at it. Look, and then if it drops a bomb on me, then it's game over. So you can make some simple games with this as well, and kids love that too. Perhaps older children might do that, 10 and 11-year-olds, but you can see there's not a huge amount of code here. I've made a Pac-Man game, which I'm going to show you really briefly. I could talk about this stuff all day if I was allowed to. Here we go, Pac-Man. Yeah, that'll do it. I have a YouTube channel where I've shown how to make some of these. Oh, no, it's not that one. Must be, just show very briefly. So Pac-Man, I use it as we're tilting. Here we go. There's Pac-Man. And as I tilt them, if I tilt it, can you see there's Pac-Man? I've got the Pac pill at the bottom, which I'm trying to get. You might see I'm tilting the microbit. Can you see there's a ghost coming? And if the ghost gets me, it's game over for Pac-Man. But I'm trying to get the Pac pill. Oh, I had game over. So we can make these simple games as well. I'll show you the code for that. It's not massively complicated, stuff. The Microbit Foundation have really made this so accessible. So you can make these very simple games. If anyone has X or Blue Sky, I'm on there. If you search for Mr. Lovell Computer Science or on YouTube, you'll find me. And I've got worksheets which I freely share as well. And yeah, with the aim of having teachers use the microbit as much as possible with kids to engage them with tech. Guys, I could talk so much. I think we're at time, aren't we, Dominique? Was it the should or yeah should we ask for questions now, or is it the Q&A part
Yeah, it's
that
the
we're on to
Q&A
now?
part. I think you're
Okay.
trying to remember how to say my name, Chris.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's fine
I
up
did
here.
ask you as
No, no,
well. No,
no.
it's it. No, I know it's important to say. So it's yeah, Yelena.
Yelena, don't worry about it. Okay, so
Okay.
we have a couple of questions and please do keep them coming. I think that we covered this, you mentioned it earlier on, but it would be worthwhile clarifying.
Yeah.
What's the first microbit project to try with students?
So on the microbit homepage, you have this projects button. So if you're going into a school, or go before going into a school, meet with the teacher to have an understanding of how confident the children are with coding. If they've never used the microbit before, start with these ones at the top. So put a logo, so similar to what we've done here, animations. So these three, perhaps make a badge. So these ones where it says beginner at the bottom, any of these. Then as you go further down the page, we go to intermediate. If the children do have some experience and the teacher feels confident, you can make a step counter, snow globe. We're coming to that time of year, aren't we? Making a snow globe. Or haven't made a snow globe myself. I think kids would really enjoy that. But yes, use these more challenging projects. But I would take the advice of the teacher. If so, no experience start at the top. The more experience they have, go further down and ask the teacher what they think. All of these. So if I look at the snow globe one, they all have lesson plans. Look, they've got a lovely video describing how to do it, how it works, what you'll need, even some example code. Um, you've got everything you need in here to get started. Python as well, if there are those that want to go further, and then some other projects as well. The Microbit Foundation have made this really accessible for teachers. I don't think they could do much more, actually. They've done so much. Look, they even publish it under Creative Commons, so you can make it better yourself. If you feel that there's some of these projects can be improved, you can go ahead and just give the attribution, the
I love
original one.
that
So
they have Halloween ones, festive.
Halloween
Love a snow
ones,
globe
yes.
myself. Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, next question. What challenges do students encounter and how might our ambassadors be able to address them?
Yeah, I love this. So the challenges will be the teacher themselves. So um, in a positive way, I mean that. It's the challenges are that perhaps the teacher doesn't feel confident with coding for whatever reason. They've got all of these lovely tools at the click of a button, but they haven't used it before. So the challenges is really just doing it with them, supporting them. So if you're in a session with a teacher, what I intend to do and aim to do is the teacher and I are delivering it together. Yes, they're managing the behavior of the children. Sometimes that's life, it's schools. There can be, and the teacher knows those children, and that's for them to deal with. But I want them to come away from these workshops, feeling confident to using the microbit, because believe me, the children will demand it. They will love this. They will love meeting you. They'll love this opportunity and they'll want to do more of it. But you can't go in there every week or every day. So it's the teacher needs to take it on. So the challenge really is to get that teacher confident. That's our biggest challenge. As for other challenges in the classroom, such as IT issues are going to come up, there are going to be laptops, even if they've got a great lab. The school I work at has great facilities, but there's always IT problems. That's the life of being working in IT. There's always, oh, my mouse, oh, my screen. There's always going to be those things. You may feel you're not so confident with those, but I would work. Well, the teacher will teach computing lessons regularly, make sure there's someone around that can help with those things. By all means, get involved too, but your role is to, your primary mission, should you choose to accept it, is to get the teacher confident. Yes, engage the kids, but get the teacher confident. And yes, sorry, that's anyway, I could go on and on.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
We have a couple
yes,
more questions, so I'm glad to see people asking. I think these
yes.
are two from Cameron. If schools didn't ask for microbits before, can they still apply for them somehow?
No, I don't. Well, may I say, maybe. I believe it's no. If I remember, they had a window. It was very long. It was about 9 months. They had a window to apply. It may even have been a year. I think it's probably due to their relationship with Nominet, and then suddenly saying we need thousands more. I would say contact the Microbit Found. I'll ask the school to contact the Microbit Foundation. I don't believe so, no. But they can buy more microbits. They are not expensive. I know that kind of goes against what we're saying, but if I remember, it's about £15 a microbit with all the equipment and the battery pack, which is probably at cost, not much more than cost. I do know that some organisations will gift. There's organisations such as Digital may be able to help. There's the Microbit Foundations themselves. There's the IMechE, the IET. As charities and as mission-based organisations may at least be able to point schools in the right direction. Um, but as far as I'm aware, it was a window and it's stopped probably about a year ago now.
Yeah, I think you're
Um,
correct, Chris. I think
yeah,
that they had quite a long time. I think 90% of schools will have them. They may not be aware that they've actually opted in and that they have the kits. So it's worthwhile that they have a good look um, before searching for alternatives. As Chris says, they can buy them. I'm not sure of the cost, and I'm not sure if they'll be able to cover that. But yeah, that's something that they want to look into. Probably they have them. Um,
yeah.
Another question. I know my local school has Chromebooks. Can they use those to connect to Microbit, or will it be
Oh,
virtual only?
fan, fantastic. Thank you so much for asking that question. I didn't I didn't go over that in my introduction. So yes, absolutely, they work with Chromebooks. They work with MacBooks. They work with Windows. They work with Linux. They work, but the browser recommended is Chrome based. So that would be Chrome itself or Chromium based. So Chromium based browsers such as Chrome, or I believe Brave is Chrome based. So a Chrome based browser on running on anything basically. Um, yes, they absolutely run. Um,
Okay.
Firefox, no. But you'll be able to run the browser and you'll be able to run the tools that I've shown you. But as for connecting to the microbit, it's it's Chrome, Edge, Brave. It's those browsers. So not Safari, but yes, Chrome-based browsers.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Luke has asked, I assume there's a requirement for each child to have a Microbit and their own PC in order to take part.
Well, so that is it. So is it Luke? Was it Luke?
Mm.
To take part, no. I mean, so I've gone into sessions. So really, starting at the beginning, I may not even use a physical microbit at all because if children are just coming to terms with using the computer, perhaps year 3 or 4, I may not use the microbit at all for the first workshop, because that may be just too much. I've already introduced this coding interface, something called coding. I've introduced a number of new concepts to these children, and I may feel that, oh, by adding a microbit, it's going to make it a bit more complicated. There might be some children in the class that will have access to a microbit to start with, but maybe not everybody. It may be those that I come into in the second or even third workshop. So I would say it's not really a very good answer for you, Luke. I would say they don't need access to the microbit to start with this. They just need access to this coding tool, and I would play it by ear as to how far you go um, with it, and it will depend on the class, the age of the children, confidence in the room. But you'll get a feel of that when you've been doing this a few times. You'll get a feel for that, and that's the skill that you'll develop. Yeah,
That segues very nicely into this question about community. So it says, how can we as community of educators continue to support each other in using the microbit effectively?
yeah. I can give my views and things that I've. So what I've found really useful is social media, and I mean social media. Well, like anything in life, it's things can be good or bad, can't they? But the real positive aspects of social media, so through LinkedIn, well, Twitter, now X, and Blue Sky, I connect with educators, and WhatsApp as well. Have around 90 of us all around the world. We share projects, we share ideas. It just so happens that those that I'm sharing with are a mixture of code club leaders and teachers like me, or STEM ambassadors, and it's all ad hoc. There's no membership fee. It's just put a join, was it a connect request in LinkedIn or a follow, or I personally I do reply to direct messages, or what's it, the inbound, the messages you're sent on LinkedIn too, and I share worksheets, and also other educators and other code club leaders I've asked for support as well. So we're very much so the way that's worked for me is social media, use it in its absolutely positive way, and share resources. I'm a teacher. As a computing teacher, I'm alone in my school. I'm the only one. So for me, the only real way I get access and expertise is through social media and making friends and connections. And some of the people I've made contact with, we've met up for a beer. So over the years. So it's up to you how far you take it. But for me, it has to be social media. Make opportunities like this through the IMechE. Um, I don't know if my details have been shared on LinkedIn, but yes, please feel free to search me, Chris Lovell. Will I come if you put Chris Lovell? Will we say computing? Will it be? Will I come up there? Um, oh, we have. Oh, look, Dominique, more poll questions. Yes, thank you. I'm so glad Dominique's here. Dominique, shall we do another poll question? So, how confident do you feel about teaching coding with the microbit after this workshop? Yes, I hope it's made you feel a lot more confident. Um, it is only an hour, so yeah. But I hope you feel. Yeah, I hope we get a few at least somewhat confident and confident. Very confident. That would be great. But
I was going to say your comments about social media working for you. It sounds like a good example of social media actually doing what it was intended for.
yeah, I know. There are so many. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this is how I've done a number of workshops with the Microbit Foundation, and yeah, just made friends through that as well. Really, I personally I really enjoy working with the Microbit Foundation. They really do believe, to their bones that encouraging children, every child should have access to technology, given the future we're likely to be in as well. They really believe it, and I believe that too, really strongly. And and then through that, just meeting educators and code club leaders and STEM ambassadors that feel the same way. So it's a lovely community, really positive, and yeah, I mean it's just maybe a little nerdy because we like sharing our projects, but that's fine, isn't it? We've all got our thing. It's
That is
harmless, isn't it?
fine.
Being a
And I
bit
think
being a bit nerdy.
you might have some new recruits. Cameron says he's very excited to give it a go. Yes, this
Yeah.
is exactly why we're doing this. Please do try. Please take this and run with it. And if you have any questions, queries, you can always come back to us. As Chris has said, there is an online community. The IMechE is here to support as well from our side. So let's see now how confident you guys are after our first introductory session. Dominique, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, that's good. That's good. Well, not confident. Nobody's not confident at all. I think that's somewhat confident. Absolutely is.
We'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think somewhat confident. If you're like me, and I really I know we haven't had a chance to talk with everybody here, but as an engineer, for me, is it the proof of the cake is in the eating or something? There must be something like that. I know mathematicians like mathematical proofs, and that's good enough for them, isn't it? And good for those guys. But I like to actually see it, do it, and yeah, have something in my hands, something working, and then I feel I've grasped it. Um, so um, yeah. Well, I. Are there any other questions at all?
I don't think, oh, hold on. We have Joaquim. Sometimes I give people a lot more ethnic sounding names than it may actually be. I'm really sorry if I've mispronounced that. Joaquim has said, thanks very much for enthusiastic introduction to this cool piece of technology. I think I will try it. Try to get my niece and nephew started first and see what happens from there. I see.
Oh,
Good idea. I tried it with my
yeah,
kids. Start with them if you have a guinea pig, first of all, to build your own confidence to grow it, and then
yeah.
take it from there.
They'll love it. They'll love that. And Joachim, you'll see what to look out for is when you're with your niece and nephew. I don't know how old they are, but you'll see their eyes light up and they'll see the potential. Yes, you'll say, like on my screen, oh, a festive decoration or a Halloween project, and then but they will say, oh, could I do this? Could I do that? Oh, I can try this. I can try that. And then as the adult, you're kind of led by their enthusiasm. And yeah, well, that's why I love teaching, really. Sometimes you go off at all sorts of tangents, and that's what we want to encourage. Obviously, the right sort of tangents. But yeah, the microbit is fantastic for that. It's a gateway to it's a it's a tool for creative expression. I said about the speaker, but there's music and sound effects. You can record your voice and then play that. They'll have a lot of fun.
Okay, amazing. I think we've covered all the questions. If anyone has anything left, anything else that comes to mind, you can send it directly through to me at education@imechi.org. The recording will go out to you if anyone had to leave midway, or if you want to share it with anyone else that might find it useful. Please do take the information we've shared, use it. Again, we are here for your feedback. We're here to engage and pass on further information. I'd like to say thank you very much again for attending today. Chris, thank you so much for doing this and for doing it with
It's
so
been
much
great. Thank you.
enthusiasm, detail,
Yeah,
going through everything carefully with us. We really appreciate it. And I hope it is useful and something that we can share with the kids. Thanks, everyone.
yeah.
See you
Lovely. Oh,
next
thank you.
time.
Thank you, everybody.